Mr. Ngala, please tell us, how do you see the government help to golf in Kenya?
Well, for a very long time, golfers used to depend entirely on their own resources, you know. But over the last 4 years, as a golf club, some of their parents are actually, can't even afford to pay that 1,000 shillings to register their children and so on. So those are some of the schools that we are reaching. In Mombasa, for instance, we have 3 schools that are involved. Maweni Primary School, Kongowea Primary School, and Kisumundogo. Those are, ordinary, schools. Because we believe that that's where, the talent is. Unless we go out there, we will not be able to tap.
Welcome to Real Life and Politics. Today we are honored to have Mr. Ngala, the president of the Junior Golf Foundation in Kenya. He's also a top golf comment writer in Kenya. And Mr. Ngala, please tell us, how do you see the government help to golf in Kenya?
Well, for a very long time, golfers used to depend entirely on their own resources, but over the last 4 or so years, the government decided, to chip in something, particularly through the Kenya Open, when the sports fund was established. So the purpose of the sports fund is to fund teams that are representing the country in international events and so on. But thanks to President Uhuru Kenyatta, he decided to, that he wanted to get involved in the Kenya Open because of the fact that, the Kenya Open Golf Limited wanted to have the Kenya Open sanctioned or upgraded to a European Tour status. That means they needed, more prize fund. So the government came in and they have been putting almost 100% of the prize fund since 2018. So as of now, actually they are very keen in funding golf. Like for instance, a Kenya team going outside the country representing Kenya, the government is supposed to fund them by buying them air tickets, allowances, and so on. We have already applied because I'm sending a team to Egypt for the All Africa Junior Championship, and so they asked us for a budget which we have given, so we are still waiting. But this is now, I can say, from the last 5 years or so that the government has come into golf. Over the years, they've been supporting other events like the Olympic, teams, Commonwealth teams which are representing Kenya in the Commonwealth Games and Olympic. Football has always had the lion's share in so far as government is funding is concerned. But I think through President Uhuru Kenyatta and the particularly the current cabinet secretary for sports, Amina Mohammed, she's taken a very keen interest in golf, and we are very happy now that at least besides the corporates that have been always at hand to supporting the game by supporting club events, national events, and junior events. Now, at least we are able to sustain some of these events through the support of these corporates. But we are looking forward also to get funding from the government, like through development programs, because in Junior Golf Foundation, for instance, I've introduced what you call golf for schools. So we are now we are going to schools to introduce the game by organizing clinics.
Even in rural areas?
Yes, because we realize that, if we are going to depend on golfers children from golfers, we will not go very far. Some parents normally, after their children finish high school, they go to universities. That's the end of their golf. But we want to create golfers for life. Golfers who will take the game as a career, just the way athletes.
So have you been to let's say, secondary schools in Nyanza, for instance?
Yeah, we have.
Like Sawagongo, Yala?
We are reaching there, but as of now we have 2 schools in Kisumu. That is Makini and Kimberley Academy. Kimberley Academy is in some underprivileged setting in Kisumu city, not far from the Nyanza Golf Club. Some of their parents are actually, can't even afford to pay that 1,000 shillings to register their children and so on. So those are some of the schools that we are reaching. In Mombasa, for instance, we have 3 schools that are involved. Maweni Primary School, Kongowea Primary School, and Kisumundogo. Those are, ordinary, schools. Because we believe that that's where, the talent is. Unless we go out there, we will not be able to tap talent, and also increase the number. My objective actually is to make sure that by the end of this year, we have at least 6,000 juniors in the country.
How many do you have now?
Currently, those who are active members are about 1,900, but we have a total of almost 2,500 juniors. But some of them have not, paid their membership cards, but we are looking at the best way possible to help them and even pay some membership for some of those who are not able to pay. Because I believe that that's the best way we can help them and we can help the development of the game of golf.
Now in Kenya, I think there has been this notion that golf is a new game in Kenya, and that's not true because golf has been here for many years. Nairobi has some of the best golf clubs in the world. The city center, the city area has a number of golf clubs. Then nearby we have like Kiambu, we have Limuru, we have Machakos, we have Thika Sports, Thika Greens, Thika Barracks, Ruiru. I think it's among the areas served by the highest number of golf courses.
Golf is not a new sport in Kenya. I mean, golf goes way back in the year 1900. I mean, the first golf club, obviously, Royal Nairobi Golf Club, which was then known as Nairobi Golf Club, was started in 1906.
1906, yes.
Yeah, so the rest followed now. After that, Mombasa Golf Club in 1911.
That's the front course one.
Yes. So, but a big number of them came in the 1920s. So front course is actually
older than Nyali?
Yeah. Nyali is a fairly new course. I think it's about 60 years old. Yeah. So most of them, came up in the year from 2019, 2024, between there. So golf is an old sport. I mean, the union is 93 years old.
Kenya Golf Union.
Yeah. And we have some of the events which are also very old, like the Tanner Hill, for instance, at Royal. It was started in 1924, and it's been running on, except during the First World War and the Second World War. Yeah, so golf is an old sport. True, it used to be basically a game for the white settlers because they're the ones who studied it, and later on the Asians joined. So it was inaccessible to Africans and so on, until in the 60s when the Africans now decided to fight to get into some of these clubs. And but before they did that, they started Ndumberi Golf Club, which is the only golf course started by Kenyans, African Kenyans themselves. And from there is where they started now planning who can we send to Karen, who can we send to Mthaiga to join. And that's how they came into these clubs. They formed a group and they divided each other. A group of 4, for instance, will go to Karen, another group to Sigoda,
to get membership.
Royal, to get membership. So eventually, once they were accepted, they started now recruiting other Africans to come in, and that's how most of these clubs have now eventually, because it has always been thought to be an elite golf, and one of the reasons why elite sport, why it's called an elite sport, is because of the clubs are expensive to join, the equipment are also expensive. Because we don't manufacture, golf equipment here, unlike South Africa, where golf is very cheap because
they make their own golf equipment.
Yeah, they manufacture, equipment. Okay, no problem. So this is why. But now we are trying to demystify that. That it is a sport like any other sport, can be played by anybody. And also we over the years we've been lobbying to the government to try and remove, to waive duties for golf, equipments and so on, and I think they have accepted.
When they import the ninis.
Yeah, because you see, unless they do that, it will almost be impossible for us to be able to import these clubs. So I think the Kenya Golf Union has succeeded in convincing the government to waive, duty on golf equipment.
Very good. Now you are the president of the Junior Golf Foundation, and this year the dreaded thing happened, or the dreaded thing may happen next year, which in that we had only one person qualify or meet the cut in the Kenya Open, and that person was a junior golfer. So none of the senior golfers even achieved anything. We have about 8,000 active golfers in Kenya. Our total number could be 10,000, but we have 8,000 have handicaps. And out of that, any of them should have been able to qualify, but none qualified. Only your junior golfer, Njoroge Kibugu, was able to make it across the river.
I was very, very excited about his performance. But one thing that people don't understand, Njoroge has been playing so many international events in South Africa, where he's based. He's been in golf school there, and he's participated in very many tournaments. And I think that those events prepared him, mentally, psychologically, and for him to be able to play. So when he came to the Kenya Open, for him it didn't appear like such a major issue for him.
Yes.
Because he's used to play with players from different parts of the world. Most of these events they play in South Africa are open. So you find players coming from Europe and elsewhere. So he's been participating in those events, and I think that's what helped him. Besides, I mean, he's been playing since he was 6 years old.
Yes.
So he has that. I don't know how I can describe it. It's a preparedness, kind of mentality that he has, which some of these players, like the professionals, some of them started playing golf after high school, which is too late. When you look at these players who are playing in the Open here, majority of them are in their 20s. Yeah. And then he will tell you he turned professional in 2007, 2008. So meaning that he turned professional when he was 14, 15.
Yes.
That's the right age. So it's I think we have invested in players who we cannot change. We cannot do anything about them to really match this European player. So the best way forward is a junior program, is to look at this, invest in these juniors, because as young as they are, when they come to the Kenya Open, they will now have that enough experience to be able to play with anybody against anybody or in any course setup. So South Africa, the courses that they use are as difficult as Muthaiga, if not more. So for Njoroge, he didn't find it the course that
because he's
much
used
difficult.
to much tougher.
Yes, our players, the professionals in particular, when they were playing in the Safari Tour, they were playing on a total different course. Total different.
Though they are playing in Kenya, but they are playing in a foreign.
The speed.
Yes.
The speed when they were playing the Safari Tour was probably about 8. Compared to the first round of the Open, the speed was I think 11. Yeah. So and the greens were harder, very quick and very hard. So this was totally different, and then they were teeing off right from the back of the tee, because this is a European Tour event, and that's what many Kenyans don't understand. This is not like the Challenge Tour. You remember during the Kenya Open when it was in the Challenge Tour, we used to have about 4, 5, 6 Kenyans make cut. Yeah, this is a European Tour. It's a world tour. That's why it's called DP World Tour event. You have players. This year we had players from 34 different countries of the world, including America, China, Japan, all over. So the level of the game has gone higher, which now our local professionals are not able to match. So I don't blame them. I mean, it's the level that has gone up.
But don't you think, Ngala,
so what we need to do is to also up the Safari Tour, put more money in the tour, so that it can attract also top players like from the South Africans. This will give our players that challenge and practice enough for them to come and play in the.
But they did one, I think, a safari tour that had attracted people from South Africa.
Yeah,
I think one.
See now we have in the tour, in the safari tour, we have Zimbabweans, Zambians, Malawians, Nigerians. You know, but
South Africans are still not coming.
No. You see, the prize money still hasn't reached. If you bring, let's say, the prize money to something like 4 million per event, obviously you will not only South African, even some players from Europe will come. That way, then it will help us uplift our standard of our players, because then they will have to work hard. You know, right now, I mean, they have to work hard to beat, Chinoe from Zimbabwe.
You are right, yes. If they are struggling to beat Chinoe, so what about the others who are coming?
Correct. Because Chinoe has played in the Sunshine Tour, he's played in all these events. So he has a lot of experience. So when he comes to the Safari Tour, he's slightly above our players. And that's why he's able to beat them. But when he came to the Kenya Open, even him,
he realized
he was not able to match the standard of these guys. Although, according to him, the second round actually he played badly because of his caddy. You know, they had a disagreement with the caddy. You know, he wanted to go to the range, the caddy didn't want to go, so eventually he had to go on his own.
To the range?
Yeah, to the range.
Yes.
Now you can imagine you are at the range, clean your balls and so on. So when
the
he came back
here, refused
here,
to come with him.
Yes. So when he came to tee off, you know, the caddy was very uncooperating. So he literally played on his own.
But I mean, he was paying the caddy 5,000. Is it 5,000?
Yes. But
why would you earn 5,000 and you don't want to work?
Apparently the caddy, you know, annoyed him, and that's what, you know, golf, you need to be very sober-minded for you to be able to play well.
Should not be annoyed by somebody just before a game.
Yeah, because he had started well. He played level par in the first round. So ideally, if we had played another level, he would have made the cut.
Yes.
Yeah, because the cut was level par. Yeah, so it is my approach, and this is why I'm so keen on junior golf program, because I intend to believe that we have a big number of juniors who, in the next 4 years, they will be ready to beat anybody in this Kenya Open. Yeah, we need to expose them, and my idea is to have an elite squad where we will now get a trainer, a coach, to prepare them for that kind of, you know, international tournaments. Because you see, we are coaching them, we are giving them the basic through the US Kids Golf, which we signed a partnership last year, so that every child has the same foundation. But after that, now we'll put them into a special training program to prepare. You can see this one has a potential for a professional status. So you work towards getting him ready for that kind of thing. We have never prepared our players to play as professionals. Yeah, they just move on their own and go and struggle on their own. We need to prepare them, and this is why South Africa beat us, because South Africa, they actually nurture their players towards professionalism. From the junior program, there are those foundations like Annie's Foundation, whose responsibility is to pick players who are good material for professionalism and then prepare them for that. So here we have never done that. We have never, all these players have reached where they have reached on their own initiative. You know, we have never prepared as amateur bodies, and this is why I'm trying to do as Junior Golf Foundation, prepare these boys for international events. Yeah, expose them, sending them, Njoroge and his colleagues, 2 colleagues in South Africa, they are based in Cape Town, and they wanted to go and play 3 international events in Johannesburg, and they wrote to me and said, can you support us as a foundation? We want to go and play those events, because they are very big events, and we believe we will learn something. So we sent them some money.
And they went and
played, and all of them made the cut. And I think Njoroge was number 6 out of a big field of something like 180 players. So
it was just not here that Njoroge impressed.
No. He's a good player. He's a good player, but over the years, he has been depending on his parents' initiative to send him all those places and so on. But we believe that that's a responsibility of the golf bodies in Kenya to nurture these players into that kind of international status.
Now we have the situation whereby, you know, in the past in Kenya, before the Kenya Open,
Yep.
there used to be virtually no tournament, or only one tournament.
Very true.
Then they play in the Kenya Open.
Yeah.
But we had so many people qualifying.
Yes.
Even I remember in these I used to be always qualified.
Yes, but
even here, in this course,
as I
in
said,
Muthaiga here.
That was
And then why is it that now?
That was then the
Yes.
Challenge Tour.
Yes.
The Challenge Tour is a development tour.
Yes.
You know, where people are struggling to finish at the top 15 to graduate to the European Tour. So it was easier for them to get into the last two rounds. That's why, I mean, somebody like Jacob Okello finished second in 1998 because
Yes,
it was
yeah.
a Challenge Tour event.
Yes.
That time it was mostly
He's the only
players from
Kenyan who
Britain.
almost won the event.
Yeah, it was players from Britain, mostly French players.
Yes.
Now we have worldwide.
Africa.
You know, yeah. Well, South Africa came in 2000.
I'm told that somebody hit the ball, Jacob, somebody hit the ball and hit somebody's head.
No, the Argentinian guy who was playing with him in the playoff.
Yeah, the Jacob.
His ball was almost going to the 18th green.
Yes.
But it hit an Asian guy and it went back to the green.
Oh, yes.
And so he was very closer to the pin than
Yes.
Jacob. Jacob was on the fringe, so he chipped. He missed the body.
Yes.
The other guy, you know, he missed the park. The other guy got his park.
That is,
That's how
they
he
call
won.
it the third party rule or what?
No. It was just a sudden death.
I mean when the ball hits
green
somebody
was-
who is not in the course,
Well, he was not an integral, you know.
part of the game.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the green was where we are almost sitting here. That's where the green was.
You mean the green wasn't there?
No, this was somewhere here.
Mm.
Yeah, the old number 13, before the course was redesigned. Number 13 green was somewhere here.
So they were playing on the number 13.
Yes, the playoff was on number 13. Because they had tied on 12 under par each. Yeah, so they had to go for the playoff with the Ricardo Gonzalez from Argentina.
And the ball hit somebody.
Yeah, so
So
it
if he
went
didn't
back
hit
to
that
the-
person, Jacob could have ended
He
up
would
the
have
winner.
won. He would have won because he was closer to the pin than the other guy.
And he was going to make history.
Yeah. So that was Challenge Tour. It was not as tough as the tournament now. This is a big event. You know, now Kenya Open is a worldwide event. Yeah, you have players from all over. They are all struggling to finish at the top 50 during the World, Tour Championship in Dubai. Yeah, where now the top 15 earn US PGA Tour cards. So it's a big, it's a big thing. Americans are coming here to come and try and earn a PGA Tour card back in their country. Yeah.
And
So
this guy who won now, I think he has won, is it 3 times?
This was his fourth. He's
fourth,
won
yes.
3 times.
Yes, that
before.
tells you how tough it is.
Yeah, yes. He won his first
In the
one was in the
European Tour,
Volvo European Tour event in China
Yes.
in 2013. That was his first
victory.
win. Yeah. He was the first Chinese
Then
to
he
win a European Tour event
Yeah.
in his country.
My God.
Yeah. So this is a big event. Kenya Open is a major event. So when you actually you want a Kenyan to beat these fellows, it will take us some time. We really need to work hard. So Njoroge now he has been invited by the European Tour to play in Belgium.
Yes, is it
Yeah.
the president offered to help him?
Yes. Had Njoroge finished in the top 10, he probably would have got more invitation. Now those events will actually, prepare him even better for next year's
So
Kenya
he'll
Open.
play in Belgium.
Yeah.
When is
If
that?
he does well, he may get another invitation.
He'll play in Belgium, then after Belgium he can now get more invited, depending on how he does.
Depending on how he does. Yeah.
Yes.
So if he had finished, let's say the top 20,
Yes.
top 10, he would have got so many invitations.
But of course he
play.
couldn't win anything because
No, he could not, but he's an amateur.
he could not be paid
Yeah.
that prize money.
Yeah.
Which
An
was, when
amateur
do you think
rule.
he's turning professional?
According to him, he would like to first of all, go to the university. He wants to, also pursue a university degree, which is okay
But
because
now he'll be going to Belgium as an amateur?
Yeah. Amateurs are invited normally in these international events. You remember there
Yeah, I
was
would
a
rather
French
he
guy.
turns professional now.
That is not his priority first.
He wants to get
He
his
wants
degree
to get a
first.
degree, which is good because you see, you reach a stage where you are not able to play the game, you have to have something to
Yes, to go back
yeah. So, like for instance, Matthew Wahome, he got his BA. So if he can't play golf, he can look for a job and work. He has got the qualifications. Yeah. So golf goes hand in hand with education. So we are encouraging actually our juniors to also work hard in their education. Yeah, because if you don't have a good education and you are professional, how will you be able to look after your money? Yeah, got Tiger Woods. I mean, he was in a very good, school, Stanford. Yes. Yeah.
In California.
So you can understand how he's able to invest,
he
his
graduated.
money.
Did he graduate? Did he finish?
He finished when he was already a professional.
Oh.
Yeah, because his father, he emphasized, him turning professional. Because, unlike other players who look for sponsors, the sponsors came to the house looking for him.
The what?
The sponsors came to look for him.
In the house?
Yeah. So
they wanted him to turn professional immediately.
Yeah.
And that's what I think should happen to Njoroge right now. He needs to turn professional immediately.
If that is something that you have to be ready for it, because people just they think they're turning professional is just abandon your status and so on. It's a lot of things. You need to prepare yourself mentally. This game, it's a mental game. Yeah. How you can keep on fighting. Look at the Chinese guy. He just kept on picking shots here and
he was very clever. He knew that he didn't have a crowd.
Yeah.
So he was moving very fast even.
You have to be mentally prepared for that. And, very strong.
Yeah.
You need to, like now, if we want to turn professional, Kibugu, obviously, apart from the coach he has in South Africa, he will need to get other people like the psychologists and so on.
Nutritionists.
Yeah, exactly. Because all these things go hand in hand with the game. 90% golf is mental. Yeah, so if you are mental and prepared, you can't play this game. You can't.
Now to conclude, the thing is that over the years now we have a lot of preparation being done. Safari Open, whatever. In the past we didn't have it. But we are having less and less people qualifying. Right now, this year we had only one person.
Because it's getting tougher and tougher.
I think it's only Simon Giga who qualified.
The Open is getting tougher and tougher. So the only alternative we have, you see, like now, there are many Challenge Tour events in South Africa. I think South Africa has 7 Challenge Tour events. So our players should try and get into those events, because then they will prepare themselves now for Kenya Open. Eventually, when the Kenya Open comes, they will have a lot of experience playing against Challenge Tour events, players. So, and I mean, one of them is coming to Arusha in Tanzania in April. So
a Challenge Tour of South Africa?
No, this is a European Challenge Tour. So, South Africa is hosting 7 of them. So it's important for our players now to try and get into these events. That's where they can get this experience, particularly the young ones. Somebody like Indiza, for him is okay. I mean, he has done enough. Jacob Okello has done enough in the game, but we still have young players, who can actually, if they prepare well, Matthew Wahome, Njoroge Kibugu, we have this boy from Railway, Samuel Njoroge. These are young players, given the opportunity, and this is why we need corporates to support them, get into these Challenge Tour events so that they can prepare, so that by the time the Kenya Open comes, they are featured in very many international events and get more experience and get that exposure. Because what we need here is exposure. We can't win the Kenya Open by playing on our own. Then come Kenya Open, now we want to win it will not be possible. Because
now we have people just crowding to go to Uganda.
Yeah.
Uganda Open is becoming like
okay.
Kenya Open,
It is a good thing because they are making a bit of money for themselves. But for us to be able to get a player to win the Kenya Open, it's not just the involvement of the player per se. It is an involvement of all of us. We need to get together and say, okay, let's pick these 4 or 5 players and prepare for them, for them to play in the Kenya Open and play well. We have to. You can't harvest where you have not.
And the preparation should just continue the way they have been happening.
Exactly.
Because I always used to
By
think
sending them,
the preparations are overworking them.
There are so many events where we can play in Europe, like the Challenge Tour events in Europe. There are players, there are events in Middle East, the MENA Tour in Middle East, where we can send our players. But they need support. They need support to get into those events.
So they need to play more events.
Yeah, exactly. So that by the time they come to Kenya Open, they are mentally, physically ready. Yeah. We are expecting a player to win the Kenya Open when you have done nothing
to prepare
that player. Yeah.
So it will just be dream. It's a pipe dream.
It will be a pipe dream.
Yes.
And this is why I'm particularly keen on the junior program, because I believe if you I have kids who are 12,
yes,
11,
in your
10,
foundation, yes.
Yes, playing 13 handicap,
yes,
12 handicap, 11, 10. In the next 2 years, those players will be scratch golfers. And those are the players that I'm targeting now. Try and mold them, for international events. And that's why we need resources to be able to send them to play international events in South Africa, Europe. South Africa is the reason why they are better than us. They play a lot of these events in outside South Africa. Eisenhower trophies, all over. They play. So we need to pick a group of players that we can see potential in them, then send them to get the exposure outside there. So that now when they come to Kenya Open, they are not scared of these white people and so on. They can, tackle. I always tell players like Njoroge, you are competing against the cause, not the other player. Yeah. The other player is not your competitor. Your competitor is the cause. You're supposed to beat the cause.
And that is true, because I remember I played a lot with Njoroge when he was young.
Yeah.
In fact, I used to get worried this boy will never grow big.
Yeah.
And now he's become a big man.
So for him, he was playing the course the way he knows it.
Yes.
Okay, along the way, I think he got fatigued. Because you see, this is a serious course. When you are playing during the Kenya Open, it's not the Tiger you play every day.
He got fatigued on the last day of the Open, yes.
So,
on the fourth day.
Here you are teeing off right at the back.
Yes.
The greens are hard,
yes.
But if we send them to play on similar conditions outside there, when they come to Kenya Open, it will be...
And they also need to put in physical fitness and so on.
You have to do a gym work.
Yes.
If you look at Tiger Woods, the kind of work he does to prepare for an event, it's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot to prepare for one event. Yeah.
Like even now he says he's not ready, but when the other day when he was playing with his son, he was so good. The son is very good.
Yeah, but for him, he knows he's not ready for a major, golf.
He still knows that.
Yeah. So for Njoroge, I mean, he tried his best. Yeah. First of all, to make cut.
Yes.
To make cut with 6 under, not just make cut, but to make cut with 6 under par. That was a big achievement in itself.
And if he had retained the 6 under, I mean,
he would be in the top 20.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd be in the top 20 or at least top 30, which is a major achievement on its own. Do you know a top 20 professional was taking away almost 3 million shillings a year? Yeah.
Which of course he couldn't get it because he's not a professional.
So he did his best, I think, in the circumstance and the field that we had here. I mean, some of the players are, like for instance, the Indian guy was ranked number 6 in the tour.
Is it Sharma?
Justin Harding, who was the defending champion, was ranked number 11. This guy who won, the Chinese, was ranked number 28. So you can see, these are top players.
In the
tour.
In the tour.
Yeah.
Number 28.
Yeah.
So we had a very good field here.
The field was very strong than last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year we had about 4 or 5 players who were among the top 20. Yeah. This time we had very many players. So if you are ranked number 6, it means you have won 2 or 3 events for you to come to that level, because they've played 4 events so far. Yeah. So for you to be ranked number 6, it means you did well in the last 3 events. Yeah. So this was almost unreachable. In fact, Njoroge shocked me. I mean, okay, I knew he was capable of playing well, but I didn't know he could even shoot 6 under. So that was, for me, that was a big achievement for him, despite the fact that he came down and finished.
No, he was tired on the last day. Yes.
Yeah. But still, You know, I mean, there are not very many players who qualified with 6 under.
Yeah.
Some of them were in 2 under,
Yes.
1 under, level par. We had a big bunch of players on tying on level par to make the cut. Yeah. So my target is the kind of Njoroge players that we have, and we have very many in the country. Now we have good support from some of the corporates like Safaricom have given us very good support. We have 14 tournaments they are sponsoring fully, including the one we have here tomorrow. So you know, this will help us develop, you know, the talent we are looking for, because, you know, apart from sponsoring the events, part of the money we are using it for development, you know, clinics, training, and all those kind of things. So I believe in the next 2-3 years we will have a big crop of juniors in the same level with Njoroge. Yeah.
Thank you very much, the president of the Junior Golf Foundation.
Thank you.
I hope we can do another interview.
Anytime.
And we also thank the Nation Circle Launch, who are our sponsors.
Yeah.
And that was very good. Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
Yes, thank
yeah.
you. Yes, yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.